Hello, and welcome to the Needs Languages channel. I'm really glad you're here today. Today, we're going to not talk about something that is the most positive thing. We're going to talk about the Netflix series, The Trials of Gabriel Fernandez. And as we as we talk about this, I want to talk about the social workers. You see, right now, but before I go into that, right, I please do hit subscribe if you haven't yet. What I want to talk about before that is that we are in a world right now where a lot of people are overworked. A lot of people are really dealing with, like for example, I am seeing more anger out in our world, more people not taking responsibility, more car accidents. But I'm also seeing that more people are uh, being reckless, but they're not, that they're being forced to take responsibility for not doing things, allowing harmful behaviors and not doing things about them. So I'm going to talk about Patricia and Greg, who were two of the social workers. First of all, I want to start with Patricia. She was a nun before she became a social worker. When they called her on the phone, so one of the things I really like to focus on that we are not trained on, we are not trained on how to listen to the words people speak. People are always telling you who they are and what they need. You see, in the case of Gabriel, he was speaking who he was. He was threatened by police officers that if he didn't stop lying, he was the one going to go to jail. Yet he had bruises and cigarette burns all over his body. And his body was even communicating this. One of the security guards even said that. He says, as this little boy walked by me, his body was communicating the abuse. The police would go out there and they would talk to mom and not even see the little boy. The little boy was murdered by his mom and her boyfriend. Patricia said the boyfriend's a nice man. And I'm looking at her going, wow. Now, if you look at Patricia, there were things about her already that she had already been reported that she wasn't the nicest coworker. So her judgment was already skewed because of her attitude. Again, we're always showing who we are. A lot of times, mean people like mean people because they're just like them. So when you call Patricia on the phone, she starts crying and she says, how dare people even say Gabriel's name? They don't know him. Why don't they crucify the parents who hurt him? I didn't hurt that little boy. I've lost my home. I've lost my job. And I'm sitting here thinking, lady, you had the ability to do something and you didn't. He lost his life. He lost his whole life ahead of him. And I'm sitting here going, it all became about her and that nobody should speak this little boy's name. And I was appalled. If those are the people who are caseworkers, how did she get hired? She was speaking who she was and and she was literally crying on the phone. And as I was watching this, I was going, that little boy cried so much, and there was no one there to hear his cries. People are hearing your cries, and you still have your life, and you aren't tortured. You can always find another way. You can find another home to live in. You can find another way to earn money to buy another home. You can move to another place. He doesn't have that option. What also became interesting about Greg was when you listen to the words Greg, when they first started interviewing him, the words he spoke were not his, the words he spoke were emphasizing about problem children and helping parents. He never talked about children being abused. He focused on the parents. And when you listen to those words, that was so powerful because that told you right there that his mindset was that children are going to be the problem. Now, we have sayings that children should be seen and not heard. What if he heard that growing up? You see, we all have biases, and when we have our biases and we don't deal with them and our stereotypes, these kinds of things happen. Now, granted, yes, they are overworked, but however, we need to start listening and we need to start helping each other. The other thing is this county is overworked. What about counties that aren't overworked? How can we work together? I'm in a state right now where we have Multnomah County and Clackamas County. If a person crossed over from Multnomah County to Clackamas County, the counties don't talk to each other because they've pissed each other off. So a person can commit a crime in Multnomah County, go into Clackamas County, and have nothing happen to them. So why can't they work with each other? This causes more problems. This is what we're talking about. Learn to work with each other. So on that note, we have to learn how to navigate. We have to learn to listen to the words people speak. We have to learn how to work with conflict resolution because people's lives are on the line. People's safety are on the line. And this was a huge example that, people want, when these things happen, they want justice. We are in a season where people are saying, enough, we want justice. We want justice. So, how does this impact personality? Well, this impacts belonging. I can tell you what the girlfriend or what the mom was speaking, and I can tell you what the boyfriend was speaking in personality. I can tell you what their needs languages were. And uh, I can go into the more in depth regarding that. I'm not going to in this one. What I am going to say is that this little boy, the system needs to change, and there are some things that we can do to create change. There's so much technology out there that what could have happened is they could have collected data, how many reports were made, what were the reports about, and they could have taken that boy to the doctor. That's where they missed it. They just should have told mom. And so let's say this is the situation. We need to teach people conflict resolution skills. I'll give you how you would say that. They got a call. Mom goes, "Oh, he's fine. He fell off his bike." I understand he fell off his bike, probably clumsy. The kid's not clumsy. That's a common thing that people say. However, we have to get him medical care because we don't want any further injuries, and we want to make sure that you don't have to have further injuries down the line, and that's going to make it harder for you to take care of him. And so we're going to have to take him to the doctor. Oh, you can't take him to the doctor. I refuse. Well, ma'am, you get a welfare check, a welfare paycheck, and this is part of the requirement of getting your welfare paycheck. So we have to take him to the doctor. Because if someone is money motivated and wanting to keep that check, they're going to allow you to take that child to the doctor. These are techniques and tools that you can use. And if you have a backup in that show, it showed that they had a backup of them having a medical facility for that child to go to. So part of it is the tools. Now, one other thing they said is it's very traumatic for a child to be taken away from their family. And I watched a couple of the scenes of children being taken from their family. Then give the child something to hold on to as you're taking the child away from their family, and communicate with the child. Children are smart enough to understand, honey, we're taking you where are just having you move for now. We want you to hold on to this bear, and we are going to work things out. Our whole goal is to get you back here, but we both have to get you and your mommy skills, or you and your daddy skills, so that you can be healthy. Communicate. Kids understand these things. They're not dumb. At 3 years old, my child could say the word consequences and understood what the word meant because I taught them what they meant. They are smart. They know what these things mean, and you take the time to communicate. And I think that is where we are really missing teaching these conflict resolution skills. So, on that note, I'm going to stop here for now, but I really just wanted to talk about the power of words and how we can use those to navigate and have healthier conversations and work through these things. On that note, again, please do hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet. Please do check out our books. Our books are priced reasonably if you haven't yet. And you can always reach out to us on our website and read our blogs and so forth. Until next time, see you next time. Bye for now.